rankings. Be honest. If you know boxing, be honest. There's levels.
And it shows, bro. It shows.
Good he looks.
He's very sharp. That's all I can.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. Don't look like he's a 46.
He looks like he's 36 or 26.
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao's incredible training for the Barrios fight is shocking everyone. Even at his age, Pacquiao shows amazing speed and power, looking like a beast in the gym. His fast footwork and sharp, powerful punches prove he's still dangerous and ready to take over the ring again. Manny Pacquiao's teammates shared that during sparring, he looked as sharp and explosive as ever. They said he hasn't slowed down at all and still trains like he's in his prime. One teammate mentioned that Manny completed 8 tough rounds, without showing any signs of fatigue, keeping his speed, power, and accuracy the whole time. His movements were sharp, and his punches landed cleanly with perfect timing. Everyone was surprised at how fresh he looked, even after such hard training. According to them, Manny isn't just keeping up, he's setting the pace and proving he's still as dangerous as ever.
Everybody is surprised, so it's gonna be a good fight.
What's the most impressive? His speed, his power, his footwork?
It's everything, because you don't see him slow down. People say he's slowing down, but he's not. I mean, that's where you're exactly going to be surprised, because he's sharp, really, to be honest with you. Very, very sharp. That's why I don't want to say anything else, but...
No, leave it at that.
You know,
but how?
I live it that way, but...
Okay, so let me ask you this. In 11 days, he steps into the ring at the MGM in Las Vegas to fight Mario Barrios.
Yeah.
How does the fight end?
There's a chance of knockout.
Manny,
I can see that.
You can see a knockout?
I'm not going to say what round, but...
Just that Manny wins either way, knockout or decision.
Yeah, I don't think decision. Maybe the decision is kind of... I don't know if it's going to distance, really, because the way
Manny's that explosive.
Everything is... I don't know.
Okay, now let's talk about his son, Jim, for a second. How talented is his son?
He's a very good fighter. You know, he's
good
going
power.
there.
I've seen him knock people out.
Yeah, he's but power. You know, but right now he's still. You know, we want him to grow more. You know, so to be ready. Actually, he's ready already. So we just want it to work in silence. So we keep it down.
What's your message to all Pacquiao fans who are watching this, who are getting ready, who are excited for Manny Pacquiao Barrios, July 19, Las Vegas?
Tune in to this coming fight, because it's gonna be a very good fight.
Don't go to the kitchen. Don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't look at your phone.
Yes,
because it can happen.
Focus on that, because I know Mario Barrios also is training hard too. Manny also, he trained like there's no tomorrow.
Manny Pacquiao's chances of winning another world title in his comeback look strong. Despite concerns about his age and time away from the ring, Jones believes Pacquiao's hard work, experience, and fighting spirit make him different from others. He calls Pacquiao one of those rare athletes who can break expectations. According to Jones, the Filipino legend still has the skills, discipline, and mindset needed to compete and win at the highest level. He also points out that Pacquiao's hunger and training shows he's not coming back just for attention. He's returning for real competition.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
When that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business world, it is, because look how much money he made.
Here we go! Who's greater than me?
I said, Sugar Ray Robinson. He said, Sugar Ray Robinson, how many wins he got? I said, he got like over 150 wins. He stopped for a minute. He said, but who got more championship titles, me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. He said, you said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you failed. I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest, Floyd.
Mario Barrios has made it clear that while he deeply respects Manny Pacquiao outside the ring, that respect won't matter on fight night. Barrios acknowledges Pacquiao's legendary status, but sees him only as a challenger trying to take his belt. He stresses that once the bell rings, there will be no room for sentiment. He plans to treat Pacquiao just like any other opponent standing in his way. His words show how seriously he's taking this fight and his determination not to let Pacquiao's legacy affect his mindset.
You know, ever since the fight was announced, I think initially I was kind of just like shocked. Like, man, dude, like Pacquiao wants to fight me, right? He wants to fight me for my title. You know, I think for the sport of boxing and I think just sports in general, like Manny is that name. When you think about boxing, right? He's somebody that comes to mind. At least for me, like I've been watching him since I was. Again, since my earliest memories of boxing, Manny has been a name that's like, okay, like he's the man. And yeah, you know, now he wants to come out of retirement. He wants to fight me for my title. I can't look at it as anything other than, you know, it's just another opponent trying to take what's mine. You know, he's outside the ring. I have, you know, nothing but respect for him, nothing but respect for everything he's accomplished. For the person he is, you know, everything he does, you know, for his country and more. But as soon as we step in the ring, you know, he's in there trying to take what's mine. I'm not training with the mentality, you know, that I'm getting ready, you know, to fight an icon, fight a legend. At the end of the day, he's just another man, you know, trying to fight for my title. He's going in there trying to, you know, take my title, and I got to do whatever it takes to make sure he does it.
Mendoza respects Pacquiao's greatness, but stays realistic about how age might affect this fight. He points out that no matter how talented a fighter is, time eventually takes its toll. While he believes Pacquiao's speed and instincts are still impressive, he warns that physical limitations could show up in the later rounds. His analysis suggests that while fans admire Pacquiao's comeback, they should also understand the reality that aging fighters often struggle to maintain peak performance through the full length of high-pressure bouts.
Say that before the interview.
I don't. This is an unbiased opinion.
Man, I'm looking forward to it, you know, even just as a boxing fan, you know, obviously coming up, it was always, you know, seeing Pacquiao's fights and stuff, and now to see the homie, you know, going up against him like that, it's wild, man. It's a wild feeling. I know even more so for him, but nah, man, I just think at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, the age will show up in the fight. I think at first, you know, he's had people talk about the layoff, but it's also a rest for someone at that age. So I feel like he's going to be rested. I feel like we might see, you know, hints of little old Manny, no pun intended, the old Manny, little bits of flashes of that in there. But I think at the end of the day, man, Mario's super sharp. This is the sharpest I've ever seen him, you know, this far in camp. I'm super excited, bro, and he's gonna put on a great show. I still kind of lean towards like a decision, but regardless, it's Mario's way. If there is a stoppage, I think it'll be in like the second half. Like I said, you know, because I think that's really when the age is gonna show. Because you can look good in the gym, man, but once those bright lights are on you, anything that's wrong will come out. So as much of a legend man he is, I think, you know, he bit off a little more than he can chew with Barrios.
Pacquiao's natural talent and ring intelligence are still clearly present. Recent training footage has reignited hope among fans who believe he still has the strength and explosiveness to compete with younger fighters. Supporters argue that Pacquiao's unique angles, stamina, and relentless style have always set him apart, and those qualities don't just disappear with age. The excitement surrounding his comeback is fueled by faith in his adaptability and unshakable determination.
Manny Pacquiao returns to the ring against a young fighter, champion WBC, Mario Barrios. How do you see that fight playing out?
Yeah, Barrios is a tall guy, and he's a tough guy. You know, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because Pacquiao is a champion, the holder of the records of 8 divisions, and he knows how to fight, he knows how to win, so you always got to give it that opportunity for him to show up. And now whoever shows up in that ring, whether it's a desire to win or just try to be there, that's a question that we have to see. But I believe that he has the ability to do something to win the fight against Barrios.
Analysts agree that Pacquiao's best strategy is to start aggressively and fight smart from the very first round, knowing that stamina might become an issue in the later rounds. Many suggest he should use his trademark speed to take control early and put pressure on Barrios. By setting the pace from the start, he can build momentum and reduce the risk of fatigue catching up with him. The key will be to exploit Barrios' slower reactions while avoiding unnecessary exchanges that could drain his energy.
I was talking to somebody about Manny coming back fighting Mario Barrios. Ouch. And this was the analogy I gave. Your timing, it slows down. That's time. Time slows you down. And so to me, I think Manny has to come out very strong, very fast in the first couple of rounds because his gas tank ain't what it used to be. At 46 years old, you come out and let's just say hypothetically your gas is half full at 46 years old. I'd rather try to use that half tank
when I got something
in 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And really get off on this kid because he has the kind of style. Styles make fights. He's got the perfect style for Manny to do what he do. But the further that fight goes, the more that's gonna go down. He ain't young no more when it does this. It ain't gonna do this no more. It ain't gonna go down and then come back up. He not gonna create space, take a deep breath, and that thing shoot up the way it used to. He ain't gonna do that, you know what I mean?
Observers have noted that Barrios' defensive style could leave him open to Pacquiao's relentless offense. Many believe Pacquiao has the skills to break through Barrios' guard, especially with his fast combinations and sharp angles. Critics argue that Barrios' defense has weaknesses that a smart, experienced fighter like Pacquiao can easily exploit. If Pacquiao stays focused and avoids taking early damage, he has the potential to cause serious problems for Barrios.
Pacquiao Barrios, bro. Who do you like?
It's hard to know, at the age of Pacquiao, what we're going to get from him, But I'll tell you this. Depending on his conditioning, right? Depending on how much he can pop in on that instep that he brought to me, that notorious fast instep, if he can pop in that instep and if Pacquiao can get in, I know he can hurt Mario Barrios. Defense of Mario Barrios is still suspect. He is willing to get caught. You can catch the kid. It's not hard to find.
Questions about Barrios' pedigree continue to surface, especially since he's been stopped by fighters who arguably don't have the power or speed that Pacquiao still brings to the ring. Analysts point out that while Barrios is a solid fighter, he hasn't yet proven himself at the elite level. This gives Pacquiao an opportunity to capitalize, particularly if he sets a fast pace and forces Barrios into uncomfortable situations. Many believe this is a very winnable fight for Pacquiao, as long as he stays disciplined and sticks to a smart game plan.
Are you cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
I am. I'm cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, who we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao, Tank Davis. So I like this fight. I think he's not going to be an overwhelming favorite, but I think it'll be a 50-50 fight, regardless of his inactivity and age. His explosiveness, even at this age, his greatness, and the fact that you can never know what Barrios you're going to get. And yeah, man, I like this fight. Why not? Nostalgia, marketable. Everyone will be behind him. It'll be internationally successful. I'm in.
How are you comparing Pacquiao coming back this summer at 46 after not fighting in 5 years to Pacquiao in 2019 fighting Keith Thurman, which came after back-to-back wins over Lucas Batiste and Adrian Broner. Those two scenarios could not be more different.
Some analysts believe that if age weren't a factor, Pacquiao would be the clear favorite. Even now, they argue that his fundamentals are strong and his boxing IQ remains far superior. They suggest this matchup favors Pacquiao if he can bring the same volume and footwork that defined his prime years. A major talking point around his comeback has been the impressive condition he's shown in training and sparring. Those close to his camp report that he's moving with sharpness, showing fast combinations and quick footwork. He's reportedly completed multiple rounds without fatigue and stays mentally sharp throughout.
Former 8 Division World Champion, now Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao is now gearing up to take on welterweight champion Mario Barrios. And this is going to be an interesting fight. Now, I see a lot of people talking about Pacquiao saying that he's a former shell of himself, which he probably is. But make no mistake, 60% Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat on a lot of these young guys. Now, people are talking about Mario Barrios because he beat Udonis Ugas, someone who beat Manny Pacquiao last time out. But styles make fights, and this training footage of Manny Pacquiao training, I don't know. I think Barrios might be in for a long night, especially given his last time out with Ramos.
He ain't lying.
There are questions about whether Pacquiao can maintain his form throughout an entire fight. While acknowledging Pacquiao's elite preparation, Malignaggi warns that with age, the body doesn't recover as quickly as it once did. He believes that even the best-conditioned older fighters often struggle in the later championship rounds, where stamina and leg strength are crucial. However, despite these concerns, he admits that Pacquiao is a rare exception and might still have what it takes to overcome these natural challenges.
What do you think about, Manny's decision and obviously getting thrown right into a title shot?
When you get older, your legs are not the same. You may have very good legs for a few rounds, but as you drag out a long fight, your legs start to betray you. I felt that later in my career. I would get into shape, but now all of a sudden, around 10, 11, 12, my legs are dragging ass, bro. Pacquiao, having not fought in a while, 46 years old. A lot of tough fights, a lot of wear and tear on Manny Pacquiao. But Manny had 70-plus pro fights. And he wasn't a defensive specialist. A lot of impact, a lot of back-and-forth impact. He's 46, He had a lot of heavy wear and tear into his late 30s and early 40s. So how are his legs going to be? That's my biggest thing, because I think, Manny was a range-changing fighter. He was he was that style, in and out. He's not a pocket guy. And an in-and-out guy needs his legs, and needs his legs the whole fight. Unless he lands something big. I will say, I think Mario Barrios. I think he sucks.
Barrios has pointed out that many great fighters have struggled when trying to fight against time. He believes Pacquiao could face a similar fate, especially if the fight reaches the later rounds. Barrios claims that youth and endurance are on his side, and history shows that aging legends often get caught when they least expect it. Some critics also believe Pacquiao may no longer have the same knockout power he once did. While he might land clean shots, they argue that Barrios' youth and toughness could help him withstand the damage and keep going. According to them, Pacquiao will need more than just good timing. He'll need sustained power to finish the fight early.
Gentlemen, it is official. Manny Pacquiao will actually be fighting Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. If this man comes back and beats Barrios, which, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think he's winning this fight even remotely. I think he could actually get stopped, in my opinion. It's not because Manny's not great or nothing. He's one of the greatest of all time. You could argue that he is the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? 8th division champion. But he's just too old, man. This man is 46 years of age. If he wins this fight, he ties Bernard Hopkins' record for the oldest champion in boxing. That would be crazy. But if I'm being honest, I just don't see him winning. I see him getting stopped, dropped and stopped, if I'm being honest. He is having trouble with Ampo, bro. And Ampo not even a boxer. He a kickboxer. And Yeah, I just don't think he'll, I just think he's too old, if I'm being honest. I just think he's too old to win the title. But let me know what y'all think down below, man.
Interestingly, Barrios' own trainer has offered a different perspective on Pacquiao's return. He warns that assuming Pacquiao's time away from the ring is a weakness might be a mistake. According to him, Pacquiao may have quietly stayed in shape throughout his absence, continuing to train behind the scenes. This, he suggests, could make Pacquiao even more dangerous, as his body may now be fully rested and recovered, a rare advantage in boxing. The trainer believes Pacquiao's sharpness today shows he never truly stepped away from the sport. While many fans are excited about Pacquiao's comeback, others believe this fight shouldn't have been made. Critics argue that bringing retired legends back for big paydays often risks damaging their legacies and sends the wrong message about the sport. They point out that Pacquiao has already secured his place in boxing history and has nothing left to prove. From this viewpoint, returning to the ring, especially against a younger, active opponent, could put his storied career at unnecessary risk.
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo, first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. If there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
That's it for today's video.